Where's Joseph Floyd? Here he is. Here we go. Hello. Alright, so a skeleton walks into the bar and says, "Give me a beer and a mop." Horse walks into a bar. Bartender says, "Hey, why the long face?" Pirate walks into a bar with a steering wheel on the front of his pants. Bartender says, "Hey, what's with the steering wheel?" Pirate says, "Arr, it's driving me nuts." Guy walks into a bar with two black eyes. Bartender says, "Hey, who gave you those?" Guy says, "No one. I had to fight like hell for both of them." Golf club walks into a bar. Bartender says, "Hey, you'll be driving later." A priest, a rabbi, and a contortionist walk into a bar. Bartender says, "Hey, what is this, some kind of joke?" Alright, there's a bar. There are two guys in it plus the bartender. One of the guys goes over to the other guy and says, "Hey, you look familiar. Where are you from?" The other guy says, "Oh, I'm from Scotland." The other guy says, "Oh, no way, I'm from Scotland. Let's drink to Scotland." So they get a beer, they drink to Scotland. After the beer, they look at each other, and the guy says, "You know, I just can't. You just look really familiar to me. Where are you from in Scotland?" The other guy says, "Oh, I'm from Glasgow." The guy says, "No way, I'm from Glasgow. So let's drink to Glasgow." So they bottoms up to Glasgow. Afterwards, they're looking at each other, and the guy says, you just look so familiar to me." The other guy says, "What school did you go to?" The guy says, "Oh, I went to St. Mary's, graduated in 62. The guy says, "No way, I went to St. Mary's. I graduated in 62. Well, let's drink to St. Mary's in 62. Another guy walks into the bar and says, "Hey, what's up? Anything new going on?" Bart says, "No, just the McAllister twins are drunk again." Guy walks into a bar and says, "Hey, if I can show you a really neat trick, will you give me a free beer?" Bartender says, "Sure, why not?" So the guy reaches into a pocket, pulls out a tiny piano. Reaches into another pocket, pulls out a tiny rat. The rat cracks his knuckles and begins to play the blues. Bartender says, "Wow, that's pretty good. Here's your drink." The guy finishes the drink and says, "Hey, if I can show you a better trick, will you give me free beers all night?" Bartender says, "Well, you can't really beat the tiny rat playing the blues, so yes, you're on." So the guy pulls out the piano, pulls out the rat, and then he pulls out a frog. The rat cracks his knuckles and begins to play the blues, and the frog starts to sing along. Bartender says, "Wow, that's pretty good. All right, free beers all night." Meanwhile, the next stool over, a guy's watching all this, and he says, "Oh my God, I must have that frog." So he goes up to the guy and says, "Hey, I want to buy that frog from you." The guy says, "Sorry, the frog's not for sale." The guy says, "No, I'll give you $100,000 for the frog." He says, No, I'm not selling the frog, sorry." He says, "All right, I'll give you $250,000 in cash right now for the frog." He says, "Dude, no, listen, I appreciate the offer, but no, the frog isn't for sale." The guy says, "All right, final offer. $500,000, $500,000. I will give you $500,000 in cash right now for that frog." The guy says, "All right, you can take it." So the guy hands over the money that he takes with him to every bar for some reason. And the guy then he takes the frog and then he leaves. Bartender leans in and says, "Listen, it's none of my business, but you could have sold that frog for millions. Millions. I just set him for $500,000. The guy says, "Oh, don't worry about it. There's nothing special about the frog. The rat's a ventriloquist." Guy walks into a bar and he orders 3 beers. And the guy takes the beers to his table and he drinks them one at a time. Takes a sip from one, sip from the second, sip from the third, and goes around like this. He does this a couple times, and then after like the 3rd round, the bartender says, "Hey, listen, these will taste a lot better if you get them one at a time." And the guy says, "Oh, listen, I know that, but you see, I have 2 brothers. One of them studying in Scotland, one of them studying in America, and I'm here in Ireland. And if you said that we would drink like this in honor of how we all used to drink when we were just kids." And I says, "Oh, that's sweet." So the years go by, this guy becomes a regular, he drinks like this, becomes a bit of a legend. And then one day he comes in and he only orders 2 drinks. And a general hush falls over the bar. And then it's kind of sad, and the guy gets his 3rd round, and the bartender says, "Listen, I know it's none of my business, but I just want to say I'm sorry for your loss." The guy just sort of looks at him, kind of a weird look on his face. And then he realizes what's going on. He says, no, listen. Everyone's fine, it's just, I've quit drinking. Guy's at a bar, and he's drunk off his ass. And it's time to go home. So he gets up off the stool, and he falls to the floor. And he's like, alright, here we go. So he tries to stand up again, and he falls over again. He's like, man. So he tries one more time, gets up, tries to stand, and then falls over on his side again. He's like, screw it, I'll just crawl home. So he crawls home on his arms, and he crawls into bed. And the next morning, his wife wakes him up and says, you were at the bar again last night, weren't you? The guy says, how'd you know? The wife says, you forgot your wheelchair. Yep, and that's all I got. Thank you.
I think that might be a soul search first. I don't think I've seen a comedian anytime recently. Get some poetry up here too if anybody's got some.